Hello friends, and happy St. Patrick's Day. When I think about Ireland and St. Patrick's Day, I think about a couple of things. One of them really is Guinness, and then Jameson, and then there's a trend here, a bunch of other alcohol. But in general, I love good Guinness. We were in Ireland last year. We went to the Dublin Guinness Factory. It's really fun. We ended up coming home with this book right here, which is a bunch of really cool pictures, and then some recipes on the back. But you know what? What I really like is there is a recipe for burgers using Guinness, and that's what we're gonna do today. This is gonna be our St. Patrick's Day recipe. We're gonna go from start to finish, following the recipe exactly as it is in this book, and we'll see how it is. I actually haven't tried this one. It looks really good. There's a bunch of different flavors in there, including some delicious Guinness. But most importantly, guys, it's gonna be really fun. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and let's get started. Okay, now the first thing we gotta do here is get the Guinness into the beef. The recipe calls for a pound, which makes about 6 burgers. There's only going to be the 2 of us, so we're just going to do the half a pound. So I'm going to cut all the ingredients in half. Obviously, if you wanted the full amount, just double it. What we're going to do is take some Guinness. This is 75 milligrams. And by milligrams, I mean milliliters, which is about 1/8 of a pint. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of massage it into the meat here. We want to get everything in there nice and marinated. Just like so. All right, now this gets covered and goes in the fridge for 12 hours. Now our burgers are gonna need some onions and some bacon, and we're gonna put that inside of the meat. So first thing I'm gonna do is just spray down a little bit of oil onto a pan. I'm gonna get my oven preheated at 300 degrees. Toss some minced onion. This is half an onion. Again, guys, if you're doing the full amount, which is about 6 burgers, do a full onion. It's half an onion. Then I'm going to take, it said 2 things of bacon for the whole 1 pound of meat. For me, I'm doing half, but you know what? That's 2 strips of bacon. Nice thick cut bacon. Nice and minced up. Toss that on top. Just gonna declump it a little bit. That looks good to me. And I'm gonna toss a little bit more olive oil on top. And we're gonna cook this for about, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes just to get it nice and good. And this is what's gonna go into our burgers. So let's throw it into the oven and we'll come back. Now, while we wait for that onion and that bacon to nice and get crispy, we need to get some creamed horseradish together. Honestly, if you can find it in the store, that's fine. But for me, I'm just gonna take, what it wants is a whole teaspoon, but I'm going to take a half teaspoon, again, because I'm doing half. Half teaspoon of sour cream. And take about a 1/4 teaspoon of horseradish. And then lastly, I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of mayonnaise. Then give this a mix. And that's essentially our creamed horseradish. And that's what's going to go into our burgers in a couple of minutes. Okay, our onions and our bacon are done now. So what we want to do is form our patties. So here is our ground beef that was in our Guinness mixture. We're going to pull it out. If there's any extra liquid, just let that sit. In this case, the beef has slurped it all up. It's good to go. Just put it into a big bowl. Then we're going to take all those roasted onions and bacon bits. Toss them in. Then we're going to take some paprika, some salt, and some pepper. I'll have the amounts down below. Toss in about 1/2 of an egg that has been beaten. Going to add in that little creamed horseradish mix we did a little bit earlier. Then lastly, we want a tablespoon of flour. And we're going to mix this all together. Now you can tell this is very liquidy. But what we're going to do now is put it onto some parchment paper back in the fridge, and hopefully it'll have time to come back together and kind of cohere a little bit more. So basically we want to make 2 patties. The recipe says 3, but for us guys, these are already going to be 1/4 pounders. So I don't think we want to go less than a 1/4 pounder. So let's make a 1/4 pounder here. Toss it onto a cutting board or something like that you can put in the fridge that is coated with some parchment paper. Just anything that's going to be non-stick. Put the other one down there. Again, you could do 3 of them, but these are 1/4 pounders. I think that's a good burger size. And I'm going to put another piece of parchment paper on top here. And then it's going to go into the fridge for about an hour to, honestly, about 6 hours. Enough time for it to all congeal together. Then we'll come back and we'll actually make our burgers. It's time to cook our burgers, guys, and we're going to do it on the cast iron skillet. Now, we're going to do this on the grill. You could absolutely do it on your regular range. You could do it on your smoker, but I'm going to do it on my propane grill. So what I'm going to do is take this, put it on my grill, get it really, really hot before we put our burgers on. Now, one thing I did that I didn't record was I took some rosemary, some garlic, and a little bit of butter, melted the butter, put the rosemary and garlic in there, mixed it all together, and let it cool off again. So I have some rosemary garlic butter. It's mostly garlic, a little bit of rosemary, but I'm going to put that on top of the burgers when they are done. But right now, like I said, we're going to take this, throw it onto the grill, let it get nice and hot, and then we're going to cook our burgers off. All right, let's cook these suckers. I've got our 2 patties. They've been sitting in the fridge trying to relax a little bit. We're just going to toss them onto the pan, just like so. I had a little bit of oil in there earlier. And the goal here is just to cook them for a couple minutes on each side. This cast iron skillet has gotten nice and hot before we toss them on there, obviously. Let's give them, I don't know, something like 3 or 4 minutes aside. That should probably be fine. Okay, we are cooked now. I have our butter on top of our burger. And for buns, I decided potato bun because I feel like that really works well with a Guinness burger. This is what we're going to eat, guys. I'm not going to put any ketchup or anything on here. We're going to eat it just like this. Looks really good. But it's time to give it the old-fashioned chomp, and let's see how we did. All right, guys. This burger looks great. Smells really great. We are following this Guinness recipe. Like I said before, there's a couple different recipes in there. Maybe we'll try one in the future, but it's St. Patrick's Day, and I really like burgers, so we are doing the Guinness burger. And I am super excited to give it an old-fashioned chomp. Usually I like a tomato, some lettuce, maybe some mayonnaise, ketchup, I don't know on there. But I'm going to do exactly what they recommend, which is everything we've outlined earlier in this recipe. And then a little bit of butter on top. And it's time to give it the old-fashioned chomp. So let's see how we did. So that is a very good burger, guys. Honestly, Guinness has clearly done a lot of renditions on the best Guinness burger there is out there, and that's why they have this one in their book. It's really, really good. We had a bunch of different burgers in Ireland. This one is really, really good. Honestly, making this at home, it's pretty simple to do. It's a little bit different because you're putting a lot of different stuff into the actual burger meat itself versus on top, which is kind of what we do in the States. But you're infusing it with Guinness, infusing it with rosemary, all those different flavors, and then putting butter on top. Really, really good. Guys, give this one a try, especially if you're trying to do some sort of St. Patrick's Day meal and you want to make burgers. But it is St. Patrick's Day, guys. If you're going to drink, do it responsibly. Have some good stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, cook something absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.